Good morning, everyone. My name is Jerome Babate. I am the Secretariat Director of the Filipino Nursing Diaspora Network, founded in 2018. The network is based in Sydney, Australia. The Filipino Nursing Diaspora Network is an international professional organization serving the Filipino nurses who are working and living outside of the Philippines. Actually, the network was an offshoot from the International Roundtable Meeting of Filipino Nursing Leaders held at the Australian Catholic University last 17th of July 2018. The network's mission is actually to enhance the role and value of the Filipino nurses across the globe. One of our flagship programs is organizing of webinars where we invite premier Filipino nurse researchers and experts from across the globe. The aims of our webinars is to share insights, updates, and state-of-the-art knowledge from our Filipino nursing researchers, inspire with success stories from around the Filipino nursing diaspora world, build capacity and update about latest development in science relating to nursing and health. Special mention today for our event partners are Beta Nu Delta Nursing Society, Nursing for Humanity. I am very excited for today's webinar, so before we actually start with our webinar proper, let us first join in prayer. Lord, as we prepare, as we plan and share together now, may you guide us by your Holy Spirit and lead us into all truth. Lord, as we go into this meeting, we place ourselves before you, for you are filled with the beauty and light and care deeply about us. May your Spirit guide us. May your grace abound in us. And now a little bit about our presenter, Dr. Rose Constantino. Dr. Rose Constantino is actually an alumna of Adventist University of the Philippines for her undergraduate in nursing. She did her Master of Science in Nursing and PhD in Nursing at the United States, and she did her Doctor of Jurisprudence, JD, degree at Duquesne University. And she is a fellow of the Australian, American Academy of Nursing, sorry. And lately, she was inducted into the American Nursing Association Hall of Fame. So please help me welcome Dr. Rose Constantino for this webinar presentation. Dr. Rose?
Thank you very much. Our capacity to improve the health of the world was very good until the COVID-19 pandemic came. The COVID-19 pandemic has dramatically changed our lives, and many people would agree that we are not flourishing anymore. It seems like we have gone into some cocoon or some kind of just similar to the sources of human flourishing, and it's really kind of dying, including friendships, employment, and civic organizations, and they have been weakened or eliminated. But I think we can do something about it. This gathering today and our seminars are all way of really giving us some disruptive and power of complacency. So I would like to talk to you about disruptive innovation. And disruptive innovation is from a chapter that we developed, Constantino and Zalon, and it's in the book by Diversity Across the Disciplines, Information Age Publishing. Some of the things that you will read or you will hear today from me are disruptive innovation, sustaining innovation, the CASA's characteristics, which are convenience, affordability, simplicity, accessibility, sustainability, in some other words, in interdisciplinary collaboration and community-based research. So what is innovatus or innovation? Or it's called disruptive innovation. Why are they disruptive? It changes the human way of doing things. It's a global phenomena that can be harnessed in a multidisciplinary research or practice to promote health and to transfer models of delivery of care. So in these times of unprecedented trying, and never before have we experienced this, we can look at innovative phenomena so that we can pull through all the directions, all the manage and all the other kinds of things. I know that there are grieving people now, there are losses, and some of us are even maybe ill because of this pandemic, that we have to go on and really look at some ways of innovating. When I was in training, I always think of simulations. You know, we can do a lot of simulations in our head. You can do like incremental evaluation, or maybe incremental simulations you can do around your head. How do you really experience, well, I was bed making. How do you really experience bed making? Can you simulate that before the actual clinical practice? The injection, for example. So we do a lot of simulations so that we can also do in our innovative training, that we can also do our simulations around our head. So you can do incremental with group of people maybe, so that you can improve something, a lecture maybe, or a practice that may be something new. There are also modular, the flipped classroom, you might want to do that. And maybe some of you are already doing it. There are disruptive, game-changing, improved products or services, dramatic paradigm change sometimes that you can do. So the theory of disruptive innovation was developed by Christensen and 2015. So it's just not too long ago. And it is introduces again the simplicity, convenience, sustainability, and often it displaces other competitors. So some of the other competitors will lose their ground, and then they're disrupted. That's why it's called disruptive, because it disrupts everything. It even kills the even-handed, or even the marketplace can also be removed. So does not create incremental change, but it also interrupts them. Now it's always in the technology field, and it does not replace the provider or the user, but instead it radically transforms what healthcare providers do. So in nursing, for example, we get some kind of a gadget in the clinical, where we do some other kinds of procedures that are new and innovative, and they doesn't change us. So don't worry that you will be replaced by um, innovative, innovative or disruptive innovation, but nobody can replace the nurse because of our the way how we look at things, the way how we define things, the way how we evaluate things, and of course the nursing process as a whole. So, okay, but it's very expensive at first, the disruptive innovation, but because of the market demand, and you know that the telephone, our telephone, the market demands ask us to have one. Everybody has to have one. So market demands and its acceptability and its affordability is tolerable enough. So there are sustaining evaluations, innovations also. Now, now sustaining evaluations are like cars. They're cars, and every day or maybe every year they have a new computerized way of doing things. It's a new model, and they also use theory of hybrid. Sometimes it's a gas and sometimes electricity. But in sustaining innovation, that was disruptive. That was sustaining innovation. Now in the sustaining in the disruptive innovation, it is like it cancels, sometimes disrupt. It only like it comes out in 6 years or 5 years. You know, the new model doesn't come out in like 6 years or some even some. So, but it takes time to develop again the new model of the way of supporting that innovation. So in the clinic, these are our this disruptive way, the challenging way, and equate opportunities and challenges in disruptive innovation. The challenges and opportunities again are leadership, processes, values. What do you want to do? Are you going to give up the old ones and go to the new ones? Culture, diversity, costs. Cost is very important. And evidence care practice. Does it really work? So you have to equate your challenges and the opportunities that is ahead of you. Now, there is a race to innovate. I don't know if your school now or your whatever in your work, if you are asked to innovate. When I was in Cebu, every president of the university is always asking, innovate, innovate, innovate. They're giving little money, little funding money to give to the people so that the faculty can innovate or do something. And Cebu Normal University has a big way of giving their money and then giving, picking the people who are winning. And I would be one of the people who would be kind of evaluating the research, and those who are when they get more money to develop more. So innovative is I think it goes through a process and also a delivery system, and you have to look at unmet needs in the community or in the workplace. Now, when I was in law school, I was asked to read the anatomy of a lawsuit, and I said, oh, that was nice because nursing, anatomy and physiology is my favorite course. Um, but it was a book on a lawsuit from the friends who one was driving and the other one was a passenger and they were fighting. Somebody got hurt, a complaint, and defendant responding to the complaint. And then, it was like a fender bender accident. But there was no anatomy, no physiology, nothing. It just said, yeah, they're friends and they're going to see who would, what kind of lawsuit will they be providing, how much money can somebody get. So when I decided after law school, I went to do the forensic nursing book for my courses, and we have a book now, and it's now translated into Japanese. It's now it's now translated into Japanese, and now I included the anatomy, the structure, and the physiology, the function of a lawsuit. So what I did was do like the judge is the head, of the courtroom. He does, his name is on the courtroom. It's his own courtroom. So he is the head of the courtroom. The jury, for example, is the heart and the lungs, because they are really the heart of the whole effort in the courtroom. They do they listen to the testimony and all that. And so the lawyers are the extremities, the right and the left, they are the lawyers who represent the case. And of course, the lower extremities is the plaintiff and the defendant. So I thought that was really a good way for me to combine nursing and law. So that's a very, very, it's like a helpful chapter in my book, because it really talks about the anatomy of a lawsuit with some kind of a way of not making it too serious, because it's just an anatomy of a lawsuit. So that was I thought that was an innovative way of really looking at nursing and law. I have been trying very much, very hard up to this time. I'm doing my research to combine law and nursing, and that's why I'm giving my my clinical practice into the uh, impact of abuse of women in the nursing, especially in nursing, but in all of the global, and even like we're doing in Korea, in Cebu and in Manila, and also in other parts of the world. So advancing technology and the human impact, and you can know that the cold cases now are done by genealogy, and it's advancing technology and human impact of innovation. So that's what we do for innovation. So mobile technology, we have yet used several ways of doing things. Of course, it's very expensive, and it's very, just to do a trial, for example, it's very, but in health applications, we used to do a leaf. It's really a way of like changing the emotional nature of being abused by being somebody to help you there, in a way, just through the application or through the watch. you know, it's a wearable accessory to call for help. So we have this watch, and they're able to call. But the problem is that you can do a lot of other like motions, and it can be not local, because the police would come, and you're really just holding it differently. So that wearable technology now. So I used to we would like to do a chain now that won't be like the watch. Now data and personalization also, we went into that. We look at big data, maybe like several, hundreds of thousands of people that are like they're abused, and that's like a whole nation kind of study. And then we were able to prove that the people who are abused had more absence at work, more absence at work. So that's the kind of thing that we look at. Acute interventional technology, then with kind of, well, now we almost have to do in, international, even now the computer one is like, we have the 3M tele yoga intervention. So it's 3M is like mindfulness, movement, and memory. That's our new tele yoga intervention for some of the people who are abused. Okay, so the multidisciplinary, it's always good to have a multidisciplinary team in your research, or in the company, or in the project that you are doing. Creative, somebody will be more creative than you, another will be more innovative, more educational, engagement, and evaluative. So you have a role to play, and every person there has a role to play, and they are complementary to each other, and there's no redundancy of work to do if you are in a team. The leader can also be someone who is employing an ABCD of disruptive innovation. You can do accommodation, A, building bridges, B, C is collaboration, and D is diversity. Let everyone know. I know that we Filipinos, or some other, even other people, doesn't want to create or to give our own identity, our own way of doing things, because you don't want them to copy. That's really not good. I think the most is to just give and surround them, or let them know that this is what you're doing, and they can also provide you with some of their own support for that project. So try to give or accommodate as many as possible that you can. They will leave maybe later on, or they may not be there for a long time, but at least you have wrapped up some of your solid way of coming up with several people to help you in your project. So information is always there. You get it from everywhere. And you can then match that with the knowledge, creativity, motivation, I think diversity, personality, and then it becomes an innovation when you're putting all these things together. information, creativity, knowledge, innovation, diversity, and of course, your personality. Your personality is very important in everything that you do, the way how you talk to people, the way how you listen to people, the way how you create, for example, a creation of a natural way of doing things, of being with others. Now, the building bridges, there's always somebody there in in another state, in another country, who is good for you, who is maybe better than you could think of. Always build bridges. Um, um, there's always somebody there who is better than you could imagine. So try to get there. Never build walls. Walls are no good. It really won't be able to help you with any other things that you want to do. Um, so in the ecosystem, we have to look at, there's evidence generation, there's evidence synthesis, and I think you know all this. Some of you may have been doing like evidence research, and what is really evidence. There's so much about it: evidence translation, evidence communication and teaching. And you always have to look at what this, well, the students or you also in your learning of the evidence, because there is a whole way of looking at evidence in everything in your project. So collaboration, again, I just have this, this COVID-19 has very given me a lot of kind of personalization of my own way of doing things. So I always calm down. So calm down can be literal, and it can also be figuratively speaking. You just calm down, collaborate, anticipate, look forward, anticipate. And I know that I told you that you can simulate everything now in your head, and then listen. And it's mandatory. It's better for you to listen than to talk. Sometimes by listening, you can really kind of disrupt in some way some of the other person's way of doing things. Okay, and then manage both your professional and personal affairs. So that's about the collaboration one that I look at calming down. And then diversity. It's very good for you to really look at mixed methods methodology. This is not just in research, but it's also in gathering your own data, your own way of doing things, your own way of simulation, or a new way of disrupting things. Collect the data, do it qualitatively, quantitatively, mix them. When do you want to do the quantitative data qualitatively? You can do that. You know, you can measure things by the way how the qualitative data kind of results. And so the qualitative data can also be quantitatively. So always welcome diversity, the people, data, evidence, opinion. It's better to do all those things together. So that's for diversity. So applying the model of disruptive innovation, again, it's really like sustainability. That's what Christensen said in his theory of disruptive innovation. You have to have convenience, sustainability, affordability, accessibility, and simplicity. It's all this. It's all that people look at in their new way of doing things, new way of maybe solving their own problems, but you have to have some convenience, sustainability, affordability, accessibility, and simplicity. Now we have our frugal innovation. We think that the frugal innovation is better than disruptive innovation because I think nurses are really able to do a frugal way of innovating things. So that's what we have in our chapter, from disruptive innovation to frugal innovation. That's this chapter that we're doing. Okay, so I think that this is like this COVID-19. It's kind of pushing us to do something else, to do maybe a bigger kind of team that's in different parts of the world, and where we could really look at how we can bridge and how we can do the world a lot of good instead of just swallowing or wallowing in our pandemic. The willingness to accommodate, change, building bridges, collaborate, and foster diversity have the potential of creating innovations that can disrupt existing paradigms and improves health outcomes. So we are supposed to do disruptive innovation or frugal innovation if you want it to be. So I thank you for tonight, and maybe we'll have some other kinds of discussion later on. If maybe Jay can kind of complete a structure or a team that we can do some kind of innovation. I don't know, that's up to you. So thank you very much, Jay.
Thank you to our amazing presenter, Dr. Rose Constantino. We are so pleased to have been able to host this event. In terms of moving forward, you can access the recordings of our webinars, particularly this webinar, by visiting the Filipino Nursing Diaspora Network YouTube channel. So this will be posted there. As you will know, there's some people who are asking about posting them in their classrooms or for students, whatnot. So please check back there. It should be posted shortly. At this juncture, I would like to thank our event partners, Bethany Delta Nursing Society, Nursing for Humanity. Any upcoming webinars will soon to be announced in the summer. And we'd just like to end by saying again, thank you for your participation, and please stay safe, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Rose Constantino.